Now, Greece's Prime Minister has pledged that the country's tourist season will kick off next month. Hotels will reopen on June the 15th, and international charter flights to popular locations resuming sometime in July. Now, this comes after EU ministers agreed last week to do whatever it takes for the quick and full recovery of European tourism. Easier said than done, of course. Widespread travel restrictions and quarantine rules are in place in many countries. So just how likely is a summer holiday in 2020? Well, joining me now is Martin Alcock, who's Director of the Travel Trade Consultancy. Martin, very good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Look, everybody wants to get out during lockdown. I get that. Is there really the desire to travel?
Yeah, well, look, morning, everyone. I think we can probably all sympathise with that feeling. Everybody is desperate to get out. And I think the assumption we're working on is that there'll certainly be some recovery of travel this year, this summer. But I think we see that distribution of that recovery very, very uneven. There'll be an uneven resurgence in, say, domestic tourism versus international tourism, Europe versus more long-haul destinations. Even you start to look into different age brackets and demographic brackets, different people will start to take holidays at different times. But we're very hopeful that we'll start to see that pick up as early as July, actually.
Right, it's difficult at the moment, isn't it, to plan anything. Different countries have very different views. The EU talks a good game, but can't decide on a sort of common platform on which all countries might work together. So I just wonder, at this stage, is there evidence, Martin, that people are saying, I need a holiday, I've got to book it, help me, get me on, to travel agents and the like?
Yeah, I think there is. There's certainly anecdotal evidence that domestic bookings are starting to pick up. In fact, actually, if you tried to book, say, a holiday rental in the UK for the month of August, you'd really struggle to get anything at the moment. It's I think the announcement a couple of weeks ago that measures were considering, or the government were considering easing the restrictions as early as July, have started to promote that. International travel, I still think, is a bit harder. That it needs this political situation to be resolved. There's a lot of mixed messages coming out from all governments, talk of air bridges, 14-day quarantines, but for some countries, but not others. So that needs to be resolved. I guess getting to a destination is then only one part of it, isn't it? I mean, it's the experience of actually going through an airport and then arriving at, say, a hotel or a resort. Customers are asking questions like, will the pool be open? Will there be restaurants open? What will the welcome be like when I get there?
And
All
also,
those things need more certainty.
Yeah, also, Martin, the experience of the travel, the flight itself. I mean, Emirates have just kicked back into gear now, but it's a very, very restricted, regulated sort of an offering, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, again, all of the airlines, the airports, and the regulators are working hard to come up with new protocols to get passengers through airports. But, I mean, you can imagine a busy airport, which is busy during summer at the best of times, trying to enforce things like social distancing, trying to add in things like medical testing on arrival. They are all going to delay passengers transiting through airports. It'll make the experience very difficult, particularly thinking of vulnerable passengers or people with families.
Yeah, nothing's going to be straightforward, is it? Martin, thank you very much indeed. Good to see you.
My pleasure.
Let's just stay on the topic, though, because foreign travel this summer, as Martin was saying, looking uncertain, certainly. So a lot of people are planning trips closer to home, the staycations, as they call it, and the boom in that could bring in quite a lot of cash, of course, for local tourism businesses, as our consumer affairs correspondent Sarah Corker reports from Yorkshire in the north of England.